Good morning, everyone. This is Shikha Kukreja, your Assistant Professor for Basics of Public Relations subject. In this video, we'll be learning about what exactly is the definition of public relations, what are the types of publics, how the public relation agencies generally work with different kind of different kind of publics, and we'll have better understanding that how exactly public relations is different from corporate communications, since you have heard this term or corporate communication quite often now, which is considered to be an offshoot of public relations. So let's just try and understand first the concept of public relations, and slowly and steadily we'll move on to different topics. Okay, coming on to this slide that you can see, which defines public relations. PR is one of the newest disciplines of management and is still enigma or unheard to many. It often equated as an exercise for crisis management or face-saving device. Many equate it as an exercise of image building with a magic band. Some confuse it with advertising, publicity, and propaganda. PR is also closely linked to spurt in technology and globalization. As you can see and understand via this definition, that PR is a newest discipline of management. See, understand, here we are talking about how an organization or a company maintains a relationship with its publics. It's not only the external public, your consumer, your client, your stakeholder we are talking about. We're also including the internal publics, as in your own employees, your student, depending what kind of organization or industry that we are talking about. I hope I'm clear up till now what I'm trying to, I hope you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Understand the basic thing that, as the name suggests, we are maintaining the relationship with the public. It includes both external and internal. As the definition says that, it is confused with advertising, publicity, and propaganda. Please understand, I really want to make this thing clear in the beginning, that advertising is a tool via which PR generally used advertising as a tool to reach its clients and the audience. PR is considered to be a bigger gambit as compared to advertising. Publicity, of course, because via PR you do publicity, you publicize yourself in front of your audience, in front of your client, who you are, how you function, what are the ways via which you can offer them good advantage to them, or some kind of a benefit to them. Propaganda, of course, because propaganda at times considered to be a negative publicity, though we'll be learning about these three aspects, PR and advertising, publicity and propaganda, in detail as we move further in this lecture. Okay, as per IPRA UK, PR is deliberate, planned and sustained effort to establish and maintain understanding between an organization and its public. Deliberate, planned and sustained, organized as a campaign or a program, and therefore not haphazard or a continuous effort. Mutual understanding, that includes make an organization understood to others by being understood. It is hoped that goodwill is built up. Establish and maintain, that includes create and retain the goodwill, important concepts as the main objective of PR. According to PRSA, that is Public Relations Society of America, public relation helps an organization and its public adapt mutually to each other. PR broadly applies to organization as a collective group, not just as business, and the public encompasses a number of stakeholders. As I've already explained, that public does not only include your clients or consumers, it includes your stakeholders or people you are dealing with, whether it's external, internal, depending on what kind of organization we are talking about. Okay, the purpose of PR practice is to establish a two-way communication to resolve conflicts, interests by seeking common ground or areas of mutual interest, and establish mutual understanding based on truth, knowledge, and full information. It is expected out of PR that they'll be able to manage the conflict, manage the crisis by creating a common ground of interest, trying to seek out to talk certain things and build a mutual understanding between the two parties based on truth, knowledge, and full information. According to Scott M. Cutlip and Alan H. Center, public relations is the planned effort to influence opinion through good character and responsible performance. See, the idea behind this holding up, the whole concept of PR, and these days you could hear that PR is one of the major field under mass communication, because what we totally require right now, what is exactly is the need of the industry, is to create a positive image about your organization, about your own corporate, so that you are able to build a positive image in the mind of your audience that would help in believing and building the credibility towards your own people, towards your own client, and towards your own internal as well as the external public. P stands for performance and R stands for recognition. Collins English Dictionary explains public relations as the practice of creating, promoting, or maintaining goodwill with favorable image among the public towards an organization, public body, etc. Role and function. Before we discussed on the role and function, I hope the definition that we have discussed has been very clear to all of you. We have discussed about few authors who has given us the understanding about public relation, that it is based on truth, knowledge, and information. It is a planned effort to influence the opinion. P stands for performance and R stands for recognition. Apart from that, IPRA has given a definition under IPRA, how IPRA defines it, how PRSA defines it. All of these things needs to be kept in mind when you get the question related to definition of public relations. I hope I am clear to all of you on this. Moving on to the next part of this is the role and functions. Public relations is the management function that identifies, establishes, and maintains mutually beneficial relationship between an organization and the various public, and whom its success or failure depends on. The keyword for public relations, it is a management function. It identifies, it establishes mutually beneficial relationship, it maintains, and the relationship are key to success or failure of an organization. Public relation is a distinctive management function which helps establish and maintain mutual lines of communication, understanding, acceptance, and cooperation between an organization and its public. It involves the management of problems issues, helps management to keep informed on and responsive to public opinion. See, when we're dealing with various kinds of clients, we're dealing with various kinds of public, it is mandatory to understand the kind of public that we are dealing with and ensure that our brand or organization should get the acceptance of our public to it, so that whether if we are talking about selling the brand, if we are talking about building up any kind of a city, or building up of any kind of a architecture, there the acceptance of your public is pertinent. Let me give you an example. Let's assume we already have various well-known brands in terms of chocolates. If we talk about, we have it from Nestle, we have Dairy Milk, and n number around. If your company is a new company coming up and trying to beat Dairy Milk or any other established brand, what is the foremost thing is to understand the audience, what it needs. Along with that, you have to build that kind of an image that people should have the credibility or the trust on your brand, that if they are eating it, they'll be happy, it's safe and healthy for them. So that's the basic concept of public relation, is to build that kind of a positive and a perfect image or a good image about your brand in the mind of your public, whether it's internal or it's external. Okay, adjust those policies, procedures, and action to found out to be conflict with the public interest and organizational survival. Council's management on the establishment of new policies, procedure, and action that are mutually beneficial to the organization and its public. I hope I'm clear with the role. I mean, it's a role of PR is advisory, information, and planning. It is advisory, information, and planning. They advise, they inform, and based on that, they plan. I hope I'm clear with what I'm trying to tell you. What in this after this lecture, the assignment for you is to find out the companies that have used PR agencies, different PR agencies or different PR campaigns to bring back the image that they were missing out in the minds of its public. In short, I'm talking about that you have to figure out various positive rather successful public relation campaigns that help the brand or the organization to build the positive image. And the rest of public relations, the role of public relations, we'll be discussing in the next lecture. Thank you.